Hey guys, it's McLeans Diecast here, formerly known as Cat 336DL100 and Dart Dauber Diecast. I decided to start making videos again, just kind of slowly. I'll probably upload a few reviews here and there, and I figured the best way to start would be to do a collection update video because it's been a while. So, uh, without further ado, we'll get started. Here in the center, we have the NZG Liebherr HS8100 crawler crane. With all three boom extensions in. I have had it set up as the drag line before. Right now it's just set up as a 100-ton crane. In the back there you've got the Tonkin replicas, 1/53rd scale Maunder Express tandem axle sleeper truck. That's a W900 Kenworth. Keep going this way and then we'll go back around. Got the TWH Grove GMK 3055 crane, the Diecast Masters Western Star 4700 tandem axle dump truck in red, the Diecast Masters Triaxle International HX620 in black, and the blue, this one, I have cab swapped this one, it's the Peterbilt 567 with McLeans mixer, it's the triaxle truck. It had a white cab, but I swapped it to the blue one. So we'll come back over here. You will see figures. I've got both Weiss Brothers figures and Pricer figures, just kind of around the shelves here. You can see the first gear 20-ton Beavertail tag trailer with a TWH GLJ 3394 RT rough terrain scissor lift. This model never made it to production. This is a pre-production sample. I wish I could have gotten some of the other ones, but this is the only one I've been able to find. It's a real nice little model. And you come up here to the first gear Peterbilt 367 tandem axle dump truck in black. You can go on over, you've got the CT660 by Norscot with the Trail King trailer. It's got a TWH 18,000 or Manitowoc 18,000 boom load. And then in the back you've got the Norscot Cat 950H. It's on the first gear Talbert trailer, lowboy trailer, being pulled by the Diecast Masters International HX 520. And in the back here, the big boy Cat 992G by Norscot and the 777D by Diecast Masters. So we'll move on to some of the other shelves here in a second. So some of you may know, but I do run JW scale models, so I do a lot of 3D printing and custom model building. This is some of my favorite custom models are on this shelf here, so we'll get on with it here. We've got the Norscot Cat 924G. It's got the root grapple with the 924 quick coupler attached on it. Here we have the NZG Cat 953B with the sweep props, bumper guard, and root rake. We have the 963D LGP with a root grapple and rear sweeps and bumper guard. That one was actually put together for me by a friend. Here we have the Diecast Masters Cat D8R with the KG blade, sweep props, and rear winch. The Ertl Case 650H with the pin-on root rake. The NZG Cat D4D with sweep props, open cab, and root rake. Here you have the Universal Hobbies Komatsu PC 210LC-11 with a 3D printed power pack, mulching head, single grouser tracks, and side bumper guards. In the back you have the Ertl Hitachi's Axis 200LC-3 with a 3D printed clearing cage. It's kind of a prototype, hasn't been finished yet, and a scratch built thumb. Another one that was put together for me by a friend using some of my 3D printed parts is the 320FL by Diecast Masters with a clearing cage and progressive link thumb. There is also a kind of a prototype project I was working on, is a Peterson horizontal grinder. This was intended to be the 5710D, but I think it's a little underscaled, and it's on a Caterpillar 320 undercarriage. So that's kind of some of my favorite models there, the clearing collection. There are more models to be added to this over time, but we'll continue on down. We have the first gear Komatsu PC 138-11 with the quick coupler, Falco roller bucket. There's a 42-inch bucket, a 24-inch bucket, and a plate tamp back there in the back for it as well. You have the first gear International Durstar service truck, the Komatsu livery. Here you have a 3D printed truncheon roller. Move that out of the way. You can see some of these skid steer attachments. We'll get to those in a second. You have the Ertl Case 580 Super N, backhoe loader. And here we have the custom T770 Bobcat. It has New Holland tracks like most of the conversions, but I have 3D printed a Bobcat style undercarriage for it. And both this loader and the S750 next to it have custom quick couplers, which I can then swap between attachments, including the 72-inch disc mower, the rotating scrap shear, the hydraulic hammer, which can also be taken off the mount and used on a Bobcat E35, these two 80-inch tooth buckets, 80-inch skeleton bucket, 80-inch smooth bucket, pallet forks, auger with 3 sizes of bits, and an 8-foot snow pusher with a back drag. So all those attachments fit both the S750 and T770 on the end. Then I also have a stock S750, E35 with a prototype auger, S175, a T190 with a scratch-built mower from a while back, the 308C by Norscot, the HR32 Chef by Siku, and then the Hobby Work product New Holland C185 and Motor Art New Holland C238 skid steers. So going down again, we have the Sword Peterbilt 357 tandem axle day cab with the East dump trailer. It needs to be dusted kind of badly. The Diecast Masters Kenworth T880. This one is set up with a red cab and a tandem axle. It's a tractor with a 1/53rd scale Tonkin replicas Manic step deck spread axle. It has a 3D printed 350-gallon fuel tank on the back, 3D printed trench box, and some concrete jersey barriers as a load. And here we have the first gear Peterbilt 367 triaxle day cab in black with the Diecast Masters XL Specialized trailer with the single axle Jeep, or dolly, sorry. I call it a Stinger though. And the Ertl John Deere 345 GLC Zero Tail Swing. Both of these pickup trucks here have 3D printed toolboxes and fuel tanks, or transfer tanks. And here we have the DCP Chevy 1500 with the Landau LT618 trailer and the Ross Yanmar SV60 mini excavator. Here we have the Sword Ford F250 with the first gear tag trailer and the Bobcat E35, that one's stock. And then here we have the Ross New Holland telehandler. It has a quick coupler. You can swap between the bucket and forks. Going down, we have the kind of old weathered Norscot D5G XL, the Norscot Cat D5K2 LGP. In the back, you have the John Deere 850G military green. You have the Diecast Masters Cat D6K XL, the Diecast Masters Cat D6T XW, the Diecast Masters Cat D7E pipeline configuration with the angle blade and winch, the Diecast Masters Cat 14M3 grader, the 140H grader with black cab doors, and I replaced the tires on it. That one's a Norscot. And then the Ertl John Deere RG200 grader. Going on down again, we have the first gear Case 45 HD tractor with 2 Miskin D19 scraper pans. And then here we have the Anthron John Deere 9620. I still have to build a hitch for it, but it will also be pulling 2 Miskin D19 pull pans. Here we have the Siku 8430. My intention for this is to do wide tire, well, maybe not quite so wide, but tires on the front and duals on the back, and it will have mirrors and some wheel weights or something. But it will be pulling, when finished, a 60 by 60 sheep's foot roller. This is just a prototype off my rough printer. I'll be getting a better print from a Shapeways or something here soon, but that's a nice addition to the collection when it's done. Then here you have the Joel Challenger Cat Challenger 65C with the 16-foot scratch belt box drag. Then we go on down again. We have the Joel Cat 955L with a prototype open cab. The first gear International 175 crawler loaders. One is set up in the traditional demolition stand variation with the winch and sweeps and demolition bucket, and the other one is not the stock 4-in-1 bucket variation. I put the 4-in-1 bucket on another one of the demo loaders because I wanted it to have sweeps and a winch like most of the ones used in lot clearing around me. Here we have the Diecast Masters Cat 906H. It's got swampers on it because it was going to have a land clearing theme to it, but I hadn't finished that project, and I put a prototype snow pusher on it and just had been sitting on the shelf since. Here we have the two Conrad Komatsu 250 loaders. One is a -3 and the other is a -5. They're both tool carriers with the buckets, forks, and log grapples. Here you have the Replicars Kawasaki 9EZ7 and the Tonkin Replicas Cat 972K. It's got prototype forks on it, moving some mud mats. And we go down one more time on this shelf. We have the Joel 825B compactor, the NZG HOM H13i compactor, the Cat CS11 by RGC compactor by Diecast Masters, the Anthern John Deere 6420, a 1/48 scale Farmall M tractor by Ertl. There's an Anthern disc back there. It doesn't really fit any of the tractors that I've got. And then you've got a John Deere 843K buncher by Ertl and a Sword Velmet 445 tracked harvester. And then the Timberjack 460D skidder by Ertl. So we'll move on to the next shelf. So to start on this shelf, we've got the first gear Komatsu PC 360-11, the Norscot Cat 336E hybrid with the Felco roller bucket, the Replicars Link Belt 490X4 mass excavator, the Diecast Masters Cat 349 FLXE, and the Motorart Volvo EC480D. Here we have the NZG Cat 245 and the kind of work in progress parts model kind of threw together just to make something out of some parts, 365C. It's kind of rough, but it's alright on a shelf. Going on down again, we've got the John Deere 850J by Ertl, John Deere 650J by Ertl, 310SL, and 624J also by Ertl. We have the TMC Hitachi's Axis 350 and Hitachi's Axis 470. And we go back over here, we've got the Diecast Masters Peterbilt 567 triaxle dump truck, the Ertl John Deere 210G, 35G mini excavator, high detail 200C with the 3D printed hammer, and 332G skid steer. We're going on down, get some more Caterpillar stuff here. We've got the Next Gen 320 by Diecast Masters, the 301.7 Next Gen by Diecast Masters, the 259D compact track loader by Diecast Masters, the 308 Next Gen by Diecast Masters with the 3D printed thumb and tilt grading bucket. Up here we've got the 330 Next Gen by Diecast Masters, the 336DL by Diecast Masters with a 3D printed bucket and a Diecast Masters 320D cab swapped over to replace the old 336 cab. And here we have the Diecast Masters Caterpillar 745 off-highway truck. And then in the back here we've got the D6H and 84W D10 by Conrad. Moving on down, we have the Norscot Caterpillar M316D wheeled excavator with a scratch-built tilt grading bucket. We have the Kobelco ED160 Blade Runner by Roz. We have the Replicars Link Belt 145X4, the Ertl Link Belt 210X3, the Ertl John Deere 200C low detail, the Norscot Cat 323D with a prototype bucket and thumb, the Diecast Masters Cat 323F and 320F. Moving on down again, we have the Diecast Promotions Komatsu HM400, the Mega 6000 water tank, the USK Bell B45E articulated truck, and B30E articulated truck. We have the Ertl Case 330B articulated truck, and the Norscot Cat 725. We also have the IMC Hydrema 912 FS, and the Maroka MST 1500 by Joel. And we also have a Corgi Deuce and a Half. I may make that a project truck, I'm not sure. But we'll go to the next set of shelves and we'll show you the rest. Oh, and before we get too far, I'll show you this one right here. It's the Diecast Masters Cat D8T. And this is my next project on the workbench. It will have sweep props from JW Scale Models, and a root rake and rear weight by Austin's models from Shapeways. There'll be links to both of those Shapeways in the description of this video. On to the last set of shelves, we have the Diecast Masters Kenworth T880 triaxle day cab in white and triaxle dump truck in white. The dump truck's pulling a first gear 20-ton tag with a John Deere 650H on it. It's an Erdl model that I've added metal tracks to. And in the back, the tractor trailer has the Jeep trailer and double axle stinger on it. It's hauling a Norscot Cat D8T with a single shank ripper. And right here we have another one of my new projects. Not finished with this one yet. Still needs more paint on the ripper, but it's a D8T with dual tilt SU blade, which basically means I started with the U blade frame and attached the SU blade to it. It has a multi-shank ripper with adjustable shanks and cab-mounted GPS pods. So yeah, go up a level. We have the Norscot Cat 572 pipe layer, the NZG Cat 215 hydraulic excavator, the SpecCast Laterno carryall or Turnipole Model C with the carryall scraper, the NZG Cat 621 with a custom open cab and replacement wheels and tires off of a 988F by NZG. We have the ARPA Cat D8K. I've been kind of contemplating what kind of blade to put on it. I think I'm going to put a KG blade, but I put the SU blade up here just to kind of look at it. In the back we've got the Eder 835 with the Krupp hammer by NZG, and the Gesha Cat D9G with the old sweep props that I need to redo those in 3D printed. So yeah, moving on. Up here we have the Conrad Euclid R35 off-road truck, the NZG Cat 988F that I've replaced the wheels and tires with some off of a 980G. Got a prototype of a big hammer for 90 to 120 ton excavators like the PC 1100 and all the way down to the 390F. Here we have the Tonkin replicas Cat 775G off-highway truck and the Diecast Masters Cat 390FL. Going back down, we've got an NZG Cat 627 with a custom open cab and some metal rims and replacement tires. Going on down, we have a slightly newer production 627 with the newer style rims. The other one had the old style rims, but they kind of were melted and had to be replaced. This one I'll probably leave these rims on it, and it will have a enclosed cab. It's currently in paint right now. It's just a prototype on it. Up here we have the Joel Caterpillar 375. Going on over, we've got the Caterpillar 657G scraper by Norscot and the Norscot Cat 825H compactor. Going on down, we have the NZG Caterpillar 615, the Norscot Caterpillar 623G Machines at Work edition, the Tonkin replicas Cat 621K scraper, and the Norscot Cat 631E scraper. And going down to the last shelf, we've got the Kenworth T880 tandem axle day cab with the East Genesis frameless dump trailer by First Gear. This is a new one. And here we have the First Gear Ford F250, and lastly we have the Kawasaki 90Z7. Actually a second one. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for the collection update. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a long time since I've done a video, probably about 3 years. So if it's not all that great quality, that might kind of explain it. But I'm going to try to get some bugs worked out and release some review videos here shortly for you guys. So thanks for watching. Bye.